And the warm welcome to those watching on YouTube for round 15 action here at J. Hal Murphy Reserve, where the Port Melbourne Sharks are set to take on the Melbourne Knights under the floodlights in the evading sunshine, in which Melbourne has showcased this afternoon. Madame Palombi joining you on the gantry for what is the third clash of the 15th round rather. It's been quite the season of NPL football we've witnessed so far, with the home side still remaining firmly within the top half of the table. A win here will keep them level with Hume City, who also played today against Green Gully at home. So to remain inside the top six. Already, although having some isolation so far, the Sharks, 3 points, certainly what's on their manager's mind this afternoon. As for the Knights, trying to make their way up the table also. They're set outside the top six, currently in 9th place, only 4 wins for the season. So we look to the away side. We'll bring the lineups to you. Evan Markogiakonis is the goalkeeper. Actually bringing the home side's lineups first. Evan Markogiakonis is the goalkeeper. Across the back three, Maker, Nathan Hancock and Alex Baker. Daniel Edwards, the captain. He's on the left side of the engine room. Charlie Leach and Edgar Stokes are in the centre. Mark Latsis is on the right flank. And the bag of three in attack consists of Jackson Courtney Perkins, Emmanuel Peters and Enrico Mezzaruni. As in good timing, now we'll provide you with the lineup for the away side. Chris Oldfield is the goalkeeper. Ivan Franjic, the player manager, in his natural right back position. Benjamin Carrigan, Thomas Werndl are in the heart of defence. Corey Swool is the left back. Joseph Franjic and Anthony Doozle are in the centre of the park, with Mitch Hall playing a more attacking role. Gian Albano, Felipe Sanchez are on the flanks, with Kieran Bramwell, the number 9, in his natural striker position. Quite a beautiful afternoon we've witnessed so far across the state. Not much wind or breeze to mention. Conditions prime for football. As Latsis, his touch is a bit heavy, he searches forward. He kept going, the keeper had to be called upon. Nick Marinos' side showcasing the lovely start. As Franjic, player manager, it's going to set up for him nicely. Space opening up, which Albano acknowledges. Finally controlled, confronted with a defender as he ventures towards the box, trying to carve out half the opportunity perhaps. Tidy were Port momentarily in defence to clean things up. Fine drop of the shoulder and turn from a composed Egan Stokes. So quite the campaign himself in his own right. Quite the week in which Victorian football has witnessed. Of course, the likes of the A-League All-Stars playing on the hallowed turf of the MCG against Arsenal's women's side, and Newcastle United also making the trip down. Not a memorable one for them. Memorable perhaps for all the wrong reasons. The 8-0 result last night for our A-League All-Stars. A few of those players within them all stemming from this very competition. Of course, Melbourne victory. Play at 7:45 this evening. Trying to deny Central Coast of what will be their third title this season. Having won the Premier's Plate and the AFC Cup, I'll be looking to complete the treble. Regardless of whichever Melbourne club you may support, we definitely hope that victory can get it done. It's Werndl. And to Baker, he receives it back. Quite the distinctive player, which Thomas Werndl is, with his man bun and the long sleeve undershirt. As Peters. Latsis was further up the pitch on the right side. He goes inboards towards Peters. Marco Giaconis. Happy to claim and have a goal kick. So the Knights have been busy within their coaching department this season. Ivan Franjic just taking the reins as a player manager. It's quite the debut, although not a winning one. It was at home at Knights Stadium, a 1-0 loss to South Melbourne, which was rather the competitive game. So if that's anything to judge off of what the player manager can provide, as a Knights supporters watching at home, your mind jogs to see what they can conjure up as they've gotten possession back once more. They venture towards the box, find cross initially. Albano, he's going to put the afterburners on to try and keep it alive. He's just out of real estate. Need the message to lock things in, keep things tight. Marinos hasn't come off his touchline yet. We know he's the usual fan of being nice and animated and going for a brisk walk along his technical area. Haven't seen much of that yet. And the commentator's curse coming to full fruition. He's up on his feet, getting some feedback across to his players. Only dropping 4 matches this season. 3 draws and 7 wins. Homeside looking to continue in that vein as Melbourne through Albano, venture on the edge of the box. Maker the culprit. Free kick for the away side. Perhaps the fitting time to introduce Ross Clark, the man in charge today. Albano slow to get back up to his feet. Nick Marinos just encouraging Peters to find that second gear. Has a concerned look upon the management staff of the Sharks as Franjic is behind the free kick. He'll set to take as Franjic And up and over the wall. And hitting the roof of the net. We know he's a set-piece taker. Throughout the majority of his career, loves to take a corner and get behind a dead ball. Really showcased, not that he needs to, his ability. And why he has that responsibility. As the ball's ricocheting off of some Knights players. Peters taken very quickly. Leach got a toe on it. Franich happy to search forward for Bramwell. There's Maker. Tried finding Peters. That's just trying to get underneath it. Long ball forward for Bramwell. Hancock with the man bun gets in the way. Might have got the team sheets a bit jumbled up prior to the start of this contest. That is a fault I want to rectify. As Doozle is very deep. Sewell just turning things over. Latsis wants to go fine turn. Peters in a wide area. Takes a touch, gets it onto his right. Options queuing up in the centre. Peters earns the corner. Mezzaruni with a fine turn to open things up for the Sharks. And despite the patience showcased from Peters, he ends the corner. So a nice feel to this one early on. As the corner's flung in. Keeper hasn't come to claim. And at the back post arriving. Where the Sharks nearly finding their opener. Alex Baker. Oldfield hadn't come off his line. The keeper was crowded upon that corner situation. And Baker with arguably the best chance we've seen so far to open the scoring. Nice build-up on the stands here at J.L. Murphy Reserve. It's good to see all the Port supporters out getting behind their side this evening. As the sun sets behind us, the floodlights were on well and truly as the sun was out shining. As the ball just goes across the engine room, long ball over the top. It's a fine one too. From Swool, Albano trying to outmuscle Latsis. Rekindle through the man playing the pass. Swool. Werndl. Carrigan finds Franich. Bramwell jostling towards the box. Maker has to remain tight on the number 9 for the Knights. Quite the aerial battle that might turn out to be. Time will tell. Latsis doesn't have to loft. He places his feet to place the header away. Doozle composed. Werndl takes the game upon himself. Fine ball to wide air if it's going to sit up. It looks like it will. Flirting on the edge of the area, the Knights were. Felipe Sanchez. With Stokes. Getting things moving out of the back half. Quite compact. That's well crafted. Now Latsis has some space. The Knights got back in their defensive positions. Mezzanari. Unsure what he might have been trying there. As Peters supplying a press. Swool. Peters does well. The ball's going to remain alive. Albano. Gives and goes, gets it back. Swool. Left back. Flag stays down. Bramwell on the edge of the area. Low cross was fighting nobody home. The Knights trying desperately to keep it alive now. Counter-attack's on for Port. Open-ended game. Mezzaruni was the option. Going solo was Jackson. Courtney Perkins. Mezzaruni. Peters now on the edge of the box. Back heels. And trying his luck was Stokes. And by his own standards, not dispatching the way he would have wanted to. Had a lot of time and space there. Egan Stokes. And exactly caught it away in which was going to ever bother Oldfield's goal. Was featured in the round 11 team of the week at the start of the month. As Porter absorbing the pressure at the moment, and were quick within their transition play. The Knights, however, pushing up. They're happy to have that potential threat at the purchase of having possession further up the pitch. As Franjic made that run, flag might stay down. So in a compact area was Franjic. His pass will not find his teammate in Felipe Sanchez. Egan Stokes was also the recipient of round 14 goal of the week. A brilliant free kick. Against St Albans in a game in which it was a brilliant attacking display from both sides. Both Cameron Watson's St Albans team rather, although conceding 5 goals, placing 3 upon the Sharks is quite the effort. Sliding to keep Mezzaruni at bay was Werndl, does well. Albano puts his shoulders down and goes. Wants it back, some space opening up now. Albano takes a touch on the edge of the area. In behind from McCurr, who had to recover, not dealt with yet. Peters gets across. Maker does well. As Latsis been told to relax by an animated Nick Marinos. It's Hancock progressing further up. He's out of position. Swool. Not very handsome at all. He had a lot of time there. Perhaps he thought of the potential highlight reel he might have featured on. But the execution was lacking. Mezzaruni takes a nice touch. Edwards couldn't find one of his own. As we look towards last week's result at Churchill Reserve. 8 goals in total for that contest. Stokes had a couple. Courtney Perkins and Peters also in on the goal-scoring party. So they're looking to continue their fine attacking form. Mizaruni also had one of his own as Latsis crosses towards the back post. Headed away by a Werntle. Marinos sensing there might be a chance here as Maker instructs Stokes to shift to the left side of the pitch. Edwards. Courtney Perkins coming a little bit deep. Leach trying to get things moving in the engine room. Releases the pass. Baker to the captain Edwards. They're probing away, trying to find that opening. Baker's come a long way from his centre-back position. Looks to launch the cross in. High cross to deal with for Oldfield, which in the process collides with his teammate. But that's some confidence the goalkeeper will look to instill upon the warm-ups prior to the game starting. Unsure if it's accustomed to his routine, but he was rather looking a bit, dare I say, not in that condition. Wasn't exactly showcasing his confidence, but that's going to do him the world of good. As Peters fizzes a bouncing ball in. Leach. Was it an option? He receives now. A lot of poor players on the left side of the field at the moment. The shift now occurring. Hancock instructing Maker to step in his position. Latsis, the ball's going to ricochet towards Hancock. He wanted the ball back. The centre half as he jostles back towards his central region. Edwards, fine ball towards Courtney Perkins, who gets round one, couldn't get round two. No foul in the build-up, just a missed footing. As Oldfield will take his goal kick. Courtney Perkins. Edwards making an overlapping run. The option is there for Jackson. He ventures infields towards Leach. Stokes, the home side now comfortable in some possession. Maker. Made it rather comfortable for the keeper to claim. Sense of anticipation upon him placing the pass. It felt as if he might have lined up towards goal. Try to find something in which would have been featured as a candidate for goal of the week for round 15. As Albano Hall just happy to rekindle through Carrigan, who lofts towards the Albano and Swool region. It's going to bounce towards Swool, but the official just deeming things a bit unsavoury in the build-up. These sides last faced each other in round 2 back in February. It was at Knights Stadium, where the Sharks were 3-1 victors. So looking to do the double at the expense of the Knights are the Sharks. So far, they've been comfortable in possession, with a couple of qualms occurring. Franich having a free kick early on, which certainly would have sent alarm bells ringing for Evan Marco Giacanis. As Edwards tries to get past Franjic. The player manager using his body well. But it won't be his possession. Player manager clears. Hancock plucks it out the sky. Gets it back from McCurk. Beautiful under the floodlights. And the evading sunny sky. This beautiful May day in Melbourne. Quite the scenery we're seeing here. Off the pitch, upon it, however. Port still trying to bust open for their first goal. Is now breaking the lines. Were the Knights. Albano is going to stay down the flag via the deflection off the pass. Defensive drama not dealt with yet until Hancock got involved. So a big chance against the run of play for the Knights. Once the cross had come in, Marco Giacanis was in a world of uncertainty. McMarinos now off his line and into his technical area. Stokes goes to Hancock. Edwards really trying to squeeze the play where Knights, and have done so. Stokes remains calm. Marco Giacanis. Peters a wide option. Takes a nice touch. Confronted by Swool. He's asking where his teammates might have been. Latsis ventures back towards Maker. He's happy to use his keeper, Marco Giannakis. Corny Perkins making a run over the top, trying to get some involvement from him. It was Edwards. And having spoken to both sides' respective coaching staff upon the start of this contest, they're not asking for a score prediction. Upon asking them what they'd expect from the game today, goals were certainly at the forefront of both management teams' minds. And so far, haven't exactly had a gleaming goal-scoring opportunity. As Latsis took the game upon himself. And he's met with some reception from that aforementioned coaching staff. Made the space on his own, although going to the car park. It's more provocative play in which I'm sure the neutrals at home will be happy to see. It's crazy to feel and acknowledge how quick the season has gone. Looking upon the Knights season so far. Played some exciting contests. A couple of 3-all draws featuring, most notably against the likes of Avondale in the earlier part of the season. Had a nice victory away from home. Against Anti-Thunder. George Andrews, 3-0 on that occasion. course, before facing South Melbourne, they returned to Knights Stadium. 3-3 draw against Green Gully, who throughout the week have had a change to their coaching personnel following the loss in the Cup to Cameron Watson's St Albans side, as Albano uses the momentum of the ball, trying to go through the gates of Latsis. Doozle, Swool in a wide area. The left back launches, ball bobbling around the box. There's Franjic in the form of Joseph getting a header on it, not finding anything tangible upon that intervention. As now the away side happy to settle into some territory. Nick Marinos just asking the questions in which were at the forefront of mind. Has a nice look to undo them. Albano, Swool, options queuing up. Hancock intervenes and gets a nice pass on to Peters. Mezzarudi in options, a 2v2 counter-attack now. Peters trying to go alone. Dancing on the edge of the area. Waits for the cavalry to arrive. Latsis, they're still in possession. As now the Sharks settle in their attacking half. Such an opportunity there for the Sharks on the break, in which now the away side look to find one of their own. Albano, the intended target. Latsis already having makings of having a big twilight evening contest. He had to get back, and he did so with a nice work rate showcased. Courtney Perkins equal to it, dances on the edge of the area, trying to find the cavalry himself. Holds it up nicely and flicks on towards Edwards. He crosses towards Peters, and Swool had to get his head in the way. A positive move, which Peters thought he might have scored from. Oldfield, although being in his natural position, wasn't called upon. His defence getting in the way. Corey Sewell just showcasing some defensive efforts. Another corner, which they have to deal with the Knights. It's crossed in. Oldfield clapping away. Edwards on the edge of the area. Leach, low effort. Courtney Perkins tried to keep it alive right on the byline. Now some chances starting to become more frequent. Edwards, high cross, the back post, the option, it falls, and a chance might open up. Leach takes a touch. Now the counter-attack is on. Oh, it would have been if the pass to Albano was a more fruitful one. The Knights will be disappointed there. They had defended and absorbed all that pressure. They weren't able to transition, I'm sure, the way in which Ivan Franjic would have preferred them to. Latsis, confronted by Sewell, heads inboard. Baker. Edwards. Peters, might have been fouled. Play continues. It was finally called back. Rather delayed in making the call. It's Ross Clark. Who's in, dare I say, his 16th year of officiating. Quite synonymous amongst the ranks across the state. Nick Marinos is having a little bit of a chat to him now. There's Carrigan. Bramwell controls nicely. Goes the helicopter option towards Felipe Sanchez. Maker, his pass not going to reach any Shark player. There's Hall. Albano. They're queuing up in the centre. Albano, patient to get it there. Maker positions himself nicely. Joseph Franic backtracking against his opposing number in Mezzaruni, who's come very deep. Peters swapping wings, finds Mezzaruni, continued his run forward. Mezzaruni gets caught up and can seize possession. Nick Marino's just animated. He wanted his players to win possession back. They've done so. Chance opening up. The execution in the final third, perhaps a bit sloppy. But they have earned a free kick. And this is definite real estate in which Egan Stokes will look to purchase. No one opposed as to get in the number 10's way. He provided magic on the edge of the box last week. And you certainly fancy his chances from here. Chris Oldfield's aware of what he might face from the set piece. He's getting his wall well and truly organised. As Edwards also behind it. Clark getting the wall in position himself, the official. So big chance from the spot, which he feels if Egan Stokes will dispatch. Stokes goes up and under. And he tried finding the keeper's top left corner, the top right corner on your screen. Opposite angle in which he scored from in the week prior. Perhaps a bit too close on this occasion to really find the dip he was after. So half-time slowly creeping upon us. Not much to really discuss. In retrospect, of both sides have looked to hurt each other in the same ways. With the home side having more possession, they just haven't seemed to find that polish in the final third. Stokes, unhappy he had to play the pass back. And Knights have executed the game plan here so far. With Albano cutting off the pass. Getting to work, Latsis confronting him. Bramwell. Hancock heading away, only as far as Sewell. How can the Knights find something? The cross was intended for Franic from his fellow fullback. Sewell just couldn't generate the pass he was after. Lofting ball, two Sharks shirts there to greet it. Edwards went over the top and onto the clubroom roof. Duzel, Franic, flicks it on with his head. Stokes, Maker does well, and very well to find Peters. But Sewell getting in front, Albano slipping upon the deck. And long ball set for Courtney Perkins. The Knights players calling for the flag, which never came. Bramwell, held by Baker. Sanchez, out of play. And in the dying embers of the First half might be an opportune time to have a quick refresher for the results around the state, with Hume sealing the 3 points in some fashion out at Hume City Stadium. 2-1 against Green Gully. They were actually at Green Gully Reserve away from home. Worst City. A clutch Josh Bingham goal was required for the 3 points. Avondale will also in action today. Looking to continue to put pressure upon South Melbourne at the top of the summit. He got the 3 points against a very motivated St Albans side, especially off the back of their cup victory on Tuesday night. As Swool in this contest went in towards the box. Effort was never troubling, but still had to be dealt with by the goalkeeper, Marco Giaconis, or Giannakis rather. As Mezzaruni pounces upon the judgment in which Wernda was trying to make. He goes incisive. Courtney Perkins with a chance. Only to reach the side of the net. Quite the crafty player, which Enrico Mezzaruni is for the Sharks. Although not your real traditional central attacking player in the heart of attack, certainly crafty. Gets the most out of the likes of Peters, Courtney Perkins, Lucas Burns. So we get to see him feature for a little while now. The former Western United Academy prospect. He's been in the hydrocolloid chamber, just trying to tend to his back issues. As Baker. Edwards, half-time, not too far away. Steps over and crosses. Fine ball towards Mezzaruni. Baker using his body. To the Sharks, all settling within their attacking half. As Maker ventures, sees what's in store, goes to Latsis. He's caught on it. Duzel. Sanchez. Back to Franich. Carrigan looking to squeeze now the Sharks. Peters leading the press. Werndl does well to evade. Albano's a wide option. Joseph Franich makes it a real task for his player manager, in which he's turned over play. Now Stokes tried to play it in towards the rapid Courtney Perkins. Who wasn't found. Yusuf Ahmed opened the scorings for Avondale this afternoon. A second coming from a set piece with their number 9 George Ott. Converting upon it from the corner. He's been in some form this season, the number 9 for Avondale. Although in the early knockings of the season, it was Yusuf Ahmed leading the line. Georgia showcasing why he's given the number 9 shirt for La Familia, the reigning champions. Come into the side from St Albans. They actually scored a brace against South Melbourne at Lakeside in round 12 of last year's grand final replay. It's quite the player he's turning out to be. For Avondale. As the board's about to go up for stoppage time. Hasn't really been much or any stoppages to talk about. Looks like the board might indicate that. He's taking his time to put the board up, was the 4th official. Keeping us all in suspense. Was Lazaros Pantelidis as he finally puts the board up. 1 minute of additional time awarded as the night sky starts to settle in. Is there late drama in this first half? Bar not told to move by Sewell. Carrigan, but rather the cagey affair so far. Sanchez earns a free kick. So perhaps it could be a late twist. The Big Lumber making their way to the Port Melbourne Sharks defensive box. Bramwell could make the argument the tallest. Sewell hasn't exactly gone into the area. Joseph Franic making his way, as was Benjamin Carrigan. Ball lofted in. We're all at the back post. Marco Giannakis was claiming his ball, but managed to claim nothing. As Clark issues for the half-time whistle. Both these sides playing to a stalemate. No goals scored in this clash between the Sharks and the Knights as we head to the half-time break. 0-0 here at JL Murphy Reserve. So we are back for the second half at JL Murphy Reserve. Okay, both these sides playing to a stalemate in the first half. Not too many moments to discuss. Perhaps the Ivan Franic free kick might be the best chance we saw from the away side. The home side had much of the play, had a couple of chances on the counter also, but Oldfield wasn't exactly called upon despite the pressure he experienced. As Nick Marinos gets back to his technical area, Coke in hand. He has a sip from the can. That's nice, get this one rolling. As Oldfield went towards his striker in Bramwell. And you wonder what the team talks at halftime might have been. Very heavy press from the Knights early on. Unsettling Marko Giannakis as he kicks out of play. Stokes remained composed until the clearance had to be made. Comes right towards the commentary gantry. It's Carrigan. Gets it back from Doozle. Courtney Perkins trying to oppose a problem. And from the early knockings of this first half, we believe we haven't seen a substitution occur yet. As Bramwell crosses in, intent on it, not much shape. Albano, Latsis and Leach. Therefore, some defensive pressure. As Albano, cross was nice. Towards Mitch Haw. In swinging ball. Maker heads away. Corner for the Knights. Majority of the corners have come from this end. So now the away side with their turn to fire some crosses in from the dead ball. Look how they crowd the keeper. All the players basically inside the keeper's 6-yard box. There's no last line of the fence. Basically everyone in that laundry area as it's whipped in. Maker had to head away. Trying to cause a lot of headaches from the set piece were the Knights. This ball flung in again. Has some shape on it, the header. Marko Giannakis happy to claim. He was under some pressure there. As Leach back to the keeper. Giannakis distributing. And lofting to keep Edwards away from gaining some possession. As Franic. Edwards skids away from the pressure of Sanchez. Stokes. Fine pass. Right on to the Buddha Hancock. Plays one of his own. Peters takes a bobble. Controls it nicely. Just can't shift it towards a teammate. Leach finally gets it out wide. It's back in possession. Handball, the call. Ross Clark in position. So now the Sharks. Are they smelling blood from the free kick situation in which presents itself before them? Stokes and Edwards. Stokes looking to loft it in. It rolls. He might have gone for goal there. Egan Stokes just catching off. The nice wall in defensive shape following the free kick. Oldfield had to rush across and force a save to his left. So now corner for the Sharks. Edwards swings it. Keeper punches away. And they clear. Momentarily, Hancock. Nobody out wide. Courtney Perkins not in position following the corner. As he jostles back there now, Franich combining with Duzel. Carrigan. Both these sides not really giving each other an inch in terms of unravelling their respective defensive shapes. A lot of the long ball options we've seen so far. Sanchez couldn't trap. Or got his body in the way. Maker might be picked off. Leach had to get something on it. He remains on the deck. As Edwards has play away from the vicinity in which Leach remains on the ground too. He hobbles up and seems to jog off until he hobbles back down. So Ross Clark's going to have a look at Charlie Leach. He's looking a little bit worse for wear at the moment. As he hasn't called upon for his physio, who hasn't exactly moved upon the Port bench. As Franich happy to give possession back to Port through Marco Giannakis, who gets things rolling. Peters. Latsis was making an overlapping run. Leach back up on his feet. Hancock to Baker. We've seen a lot of this so far. The left to right, right to left, trying to find that opening. Either side have really not given each other any space. It's been quite the cagey affair. Has had a couple of moments on the counter-attack, which either side were really yet to find something tangible from, as Leach. Peters. The idea was bright, but yet again, discuss execution, just lacking when important. As you can see, the high press from the Sharks was Franich in a spot. Ball somehow remains alive. And they've done well there, the Knights. Let's get it out of that tight situation. At the expense of turning things over. Maker finds Peters. There's a wide option he hadn't played. Finds the other wide option in Edwards. Does well. Stokes. Chipping ball, Latsis, the option. Chance here for the home side. Sliding was Courtney Perkins to get his studs on the ball at the back post, but it won't matter. The flag has gone up. Offside the call from the official. That's what we need to see more of from both sides if they are to find the opener. So those plays over the top. Both midfields so far not allowing things to really occur. Both midfields being compact and keeping things tight around both of their respective penalty areas. The defences haven't exactly been called upon, nor have the keepers. Stokes, it's going to ricochet towards Edwards. Courtney Perkins. Franich there confronting him. Gets it on to the work rate of Edwards, who kept going. Baker, he's been arguably the most lively defender. Had a chance in the first half following a corner, which is header. Just going wide of Oldfield's posts. Edwards ricochets that ball, in which the official had seen travel behind the byline for a corner. Yet again, they crowd the keeper as Makers at the back post. Hancock jostling towards the near. Has swung in, but Ross Clark's seen something in the build-up. There's a water possession to the Knights for the foul. Keeper with the G's, sends it forward. Got some Port youth players and fans behind the goal trying to perhaps play some mind games with the keeper. As they've turned it over now, the Knights. Ball's been flung in by Latsis. Marinos calling for that ball to be played on the ground as Maker lofts one in. Head of the way. Stokes, not much of him to get around, to use his body. As Bramwell made a run forward, Sanchez couldn't find him. Edwards positions himself supremely. As Leach crashing into Sanchez. Latsis has options ahead of him. Peter's one of them. Chance opening up now for the Sharks, which are so close to taking. Peters just uncertain if he's trying to find the back post or a teammate arriving within the 6-yard box. Perhaps more encouraging signs we're seeing from Nick Marinos' side. Wonder if you hear the jeers, which Oldfield might be entitled to. Nothing doing this time as he launches long and to nowhere. All place the header in the engine room to earn it back. Sanchez had the rub of the green. Hadn't worked with it. Edwards been made to it by his keeper. Courtney Perkins very deep. Knights throw. So the Sharks closing out the space. As you feel as if the Knights are ready to bring on some fresh blood into the contest. Bramwell, Sanchez on the edge of the area, ball bobbling towards Maker, who clears momentarily. Upon the clearance, a header was deflected off a Knights player. Courtney Perkins, try getting in the way. Latsis reads it nicely, and now Peters. Transition was on. But the Knights just very quick to get back and hold that offensive shape. Much to the credit of Franjic. Stokes. Chip pass towards Latsis. Might have lost in the floodlights momentarily. Werndl sends long. Hancock gets in the way. He's out of position. Now the Knights come forward with sense of the opener. They're trying to craft it. The Sharks get back very quickly. Maker makes the intervention at the expense of a corner. You feel as if in this contest, so far goals have been hard to come by. And you feel like one we might see might be the only in which it offers. It's all important for the team that scores it. The Knights certainly trying to make that argument now. As a substitute, he's ready to come on. We're not sure if he might come on before the corner's taken. Ball flung in. Not dealt with entirely yet. As Marco Giannakis, without any qualms about it, claims. Long ball towards Mezzaruni, who's isolated all on his own, was Enrico Mezzaruni. Nothing to really aim for in the centre. Latsis plucks it out the sky and lets fly. And via deflection earns the corner. Looks like it'll be a double change for the Knights. As they have a corner, their fresh players ready to come on. Sharks whip it in. Offside the call. Now a chance for the double change. As Sanchez hasn't really come to life in the contest. Felipe's replaced by the man that was meant to start in his position, Saifuddin Saki. Enters alongside Tommy Semi. He's been replaced by, he replaces rather Mitch Hoare, who also hadn't had much involvement in the contest. As Hancock positions himself nicely, uses his body well. Maker back to Latsis. Baker. Edwards. Tries a nice pass towards Mezzaruni. It might bounce towards his vicinity. Hadn't got it upon his jurisdiction. As Leach, right in front of Ross Clark, goes down. Another chance for the set-piece specialist. And Egan Stokes to let fly. Nick Marinos, he senses the possibility of the deadlock being broken. He watches on with full intent. We've had our fair share of set pieces. It was at this end where Franjic had hit the roof of the net. Egan Stokes will let fly himself. Oldfield getting across. Over the wall, but not past the keeper. Another corner for the Sharks. The home supporters in attendance, waiting to be sent into raptures as the Sharks looking to make a substitution of their own. That will be forthcoming. Edwards, fine shape on the delivery. Oldfield nearly at the equation, headed towards the 6-yard box. Chance from the grab and steal. But in the crossfire remains a Knights player on the deck. Upon the play, it looks like Jackson Courtney Perkins got a bit overzealous and made contact involuntarily with Corey Sewell, who's back up on his feet. But it looks as if change might be forthcoming. It might just be Emmanuel Peters who makes way. Courtney Perkins, quite the versatile player within his arsenal, rather tall and quick. Great feet for a big lad as he kept going. Had to slide to try and keep it. Joseph French thought he was impeded. Ivan back on his feet as Leach rolls it towards Mezzaruni, who lets fly. Edwards got a bit carried away. There's the check up on the counterpart player he left on the deck. He's slow to get back up on his feet. Uncertain on who might make way for the Sharks. Looked as if number 35 indicating Emmanuel Peters might have been allocated to the bench. The board has changed once more. Marinos having a change of heart. It might just be Enrico Mezzaruni. It might be on borrowed time. They're looking to change up the attack. There's not much doubt in the men replacing one of the two. Jack Morton ready to make his contributions. As the boys on the bench have a bit to say to each other. We've been injected a new battery life for our cameraman, who's rather relieved at the moment. Battery supply has arrived. And if I could tell you the smile on his face, he's rather relieved as we're looking for a spark to this contest. Andrew Mezzaruni, Drico is nicknamed. What can Dunlop provide to the contest? Peters has taken up the central role in attack. You can hear that Marinos is trying to encourage and spearhead his attacking contingency on. They've been rather quiet. Courtney Perkins could make the case as being the most viable option. In the engine room, they win the ball momentarily. The pass going afray. Courtney Perkins. Peters in the build-up, just letting Carrigan know his presence as Courtney Perkins bounces to Edwards on the edge of the area. He crosses in. Peters the option. Stokes with a touch. Can he get the shot away with Stokes? Follow-up wasn't there from Peters. Edwards towards the back post. Dunlop in the form of Fraser was the target. The ball just billowing out of play. Semi composed. Starts to make his way up the ground as Franic finds Albano on the right side of things this half. Franic with the overlap. Saki gets possession back once more and gets it moving quickly. Now Franic has some space. Saki with the overlap. Franic finally using Saki. Chance for the Knights. Saki, chance here. Really opened up. And the effort, well, was sent back to Crown Casino. Joseph Franic with arguably the most well-crafted move of the contest. Not catching that the way I'm sure he would have envisioned. High and not very handsome. And, well, the substitute in Saki really already having some influence. I'm sure it's what Franic would have requested upon his involvement. As Lucas Burns looks as if he'll be getting a run. Has been nursing some back problems in recent weeks. A player I'm sure determined to reinstate his presence back in Nick Marinos' side. His bib's off. He's ready to go. As the Knights look to also make a change. Leach will be replaced by Burns. As Joseph Franic has been called to on the bench. His replacement jostling on. And this time, it's going to be the Knights number 18 in Jack Morton. Might have had them mixed up with the first Shark substitution. But Morton for the Knights comes on. As Edwards isolated out wide, where he likes to be. Chipping cross, Perkins rised. The keeper hadn't fully committed. Oldfield was in two minds there. As Burns, usually an attacker, is in the engine room for the remainder of the contest. So both sides resorting to the bench to try find the moment in which they're both craving. Maker, his header goes behind him. Now Semi uses his body well. Duzel throws quickly. Saki got things moving, and he gets the ball on the edge of the box and back into the car park. The Knights have manufactured chances. They just haven't been able to execute. And Saki's been involved. They just haven't managed to have their shoulders over the ball upon the final touch and attack. They're opening up their body and the balls are going up and high, which it's going to take something special to get beyond Markagiannakis, but he hasn't really had a test. Although the efforts have been there, it's just not directed at the keeper. As Latsis takes the throw. Stokes. Burns looking for his first touch. Confronts the space. Hancock. On to Baker. Home side trying to make something work. They're trying to push the envelope. But they're remaining patient. As Baker goes back to Hancock. 8 players in the Sharks attacking half. They're looking to force the opener as Edwards goes towards the centre of the box. No one there to deal with it. Latsis came across. And now Tommy Semi's away. Saki ahead of him. Bramwell making up some space. Saki the option. Semi's used. He might go alone. He goes back to Semi. Marco Giannakis not very bothered by it. The Knights management side certainly happy. Tommy Semi perhaps listening somehow to the commentary to go over and play a low effort rather than opening up the body for a high one, in which the Knights have really showcased much of. His possession was up for dispute there. All for the Knights to reclaim it. Baker gets underneath it. McCurr not giving the ball away until Doozle got it back himself. Nice ball forward. Now they venture the Knights in towards the box. Ball was fizzed in towards the outer region of it. Peters, last line of defence. It was Carrigan who pulled the shirt of Peters. Card issued to the Knights centre half. Fine use of the body from Manny Peters, who looked as if he might have been into a world of space, haven't he got around and in behind. Maker. Flick on was there. Peters. Got a bit excited. Going to pull the jumper, says Ross Clark. Now Franich. Edwards cuts it off. Courtney Perkins. Stokes. Back to Courtney Perkins. He went solo. Ran into some bodies. Albano puts his head down, has Saki to his right, uses him. Bramwell and Semi arriving. Saki tries to go around Baker. He does well. Throw in for the Knights forthcoming. Doozle. Franich. Patient was Saki. Interplay between the two. They're really trying to pick out that moment. Courtney Perkins tried getting in the way. Albano awaits the option. The Knights all settling upon their attacking half. Trying to take the game on they were. Peters goes the wrong way. And now Albano through traffic. Nearly with what would have been a contender for goal of the round. He barely had a moment to gain his composure. So crafty in getting the shot away. Marco Giannakis, well, wasn't tested but certainly was worried. Franich went long to no avail. Baker getting in the way. As Doozle also tries something long of his own. Morton does well. Gets his foot on it. Trying to find Albano. Edwards. Sends a long one towards Courtney Perkins. Composed was Carrigan. Oldfield, the up and under. Edwards uses his body. They look towards John Clark. Ross Clark, rather. Semi. Swool picks out Tommy Semi brilliantly. Marco Giannakis had found the ball upon the Mark Latsis intervention. As the frost of the Melbourne night tends to settle in. Not much time left in this one. Who's going to find what could be the match winner? That's a fine ball. Kieran Bramwell kept going. And Maker intervenes at the expense of a corner. Marinos opting to look towards his bench yet again. Gonzalez to come on. With Mark Latsis making way. So Gonzalez on defensive duties for the Sharks, following the Knights' corner, which is about to be swung in. Crossed in towards the central region of the box. Keepers come out to palm away. With Gonzalez having his first touch going out of play. Franich gets it back. Saki off his left. Cross had shape on it. No one there for either side. Port defence confident. Letting the ball just bounce out of play. Question marks surrounding perhaps with the presence of Tommy Semi in that occasion. As Edwards uses all of his figure to get up. Stokes. Gonzalez. Wasteful with the passing opportunity. Semi, fine use of the body to keep Maker at bay. Courtney Perkins, backtracked. Stokes, lunges for the ball. Finds Peters. Burns was ahead of him. Stokes. Execution wasn't what he intended. It comes back to his vicinity, breaking the tackle, and kept venturing forward. Was the substitute Saki. Maker remains on the deck. Albano. Play continues. Semi on the edge of the area. Can he get the shot away? Still remains alive. Albano. Franich the overlap. He goes central. Huge chance here for the Knights, which Doozle had never really caught. Both sides have two players looking worse for wear. The substitute Saki is back up on his feet, but Maker at the moment just still feeling the effects of that challenge. Ross Clark, not John Clark, comes across to check up on the Sharks defender, who's had quite the game today. They might be looking upon their bench yet again, of course. Karmas has been a lengthy injury personnel for the home side. They've been without for a few weeks now. I'm sure Nick Marinos will hope that there's nothing too serious about injury concern showcased by Maker. He's back up on his feet. And will definitely be in the running for some, in terms of player of the match, as he jostles off and will be attended to by his physio for the meantime. So they might be a man short. As Maker back up and running, back on the pitch. Not much time at all left in this one. Both sides having their chances. Not exactly clear cut, but they have been there. You feel as if there's a gilded golden opportunity. You just wonder which side's going to find it, as Edwards' pass from the throw was wasteful. Gets it back in a wide area. Franjic does well. Saki also back up on his feet. Morton had it moving. Burns got in the way. Lucas Burns wants to run at the defenders. Puts his shoulders down and goes. Gets the ball into the box. Have a second attempt at it. Patient. Gonzalez receives the ball. Gets it on to Stokes. Deflection! And the opener for the Sharks. Egan Stokes, via an unkind deflection, opens the scoring deep in this contest. Much to the elation of the home supporters and Nick Marinos' coaching staff. Full credit to Lucas Burns, the substitute. He come into the contest, kept possession alive. Gonzalez also off the bench and with full impact. Found Egan Stokes, whose attempt had deflected upon its way in. And the scoring's finally opened at Jael Murphy Reserve, the home side in front. We're uncertain on whether either net was going to bulge. Offside flag issued for the Knights, who have very little time to try to find an equaliser. So nearly at the end of regulation time. Marco Giannakis went long. Maker extends. Gonzalez underneath it. Peters wheels away. Burns does well. Perhaps they're looking for their second and to really guarantee the 3 points. Oh, the miscue allows for Peters to run onto it. Just couldn't get the bounce his way. Carrigan, fine pass to Saki. Edwards does well, trips upon Gonzalez in the engine room, which allowed for the Knights to venture. Saki drops the shoulder, goes around Gonzalez. His pass trying to find Albano. They'll get another chance now, the Knights. Semi out wide. He chests. And kept going was Tommy Semi. Went round one, went round two. Couldn't go round three. Cross. A very poor one. The Knights bench acknowledged that. As now there's options for the Sharks. Burns in an acre of space. Peters, if he can find him, could be on here. Deep ball for Lucas Burns. Chance for the Sharks. Ricochet. And a goal. Lucas Burns was played in behind by Manny Peters, and following a very unfortunate defensive calamity from the Knights, they've gone 2 behind. That's going to guarantee the 3 points for the home side. They've already had their fair share of misfortune following the early deflective goal they copped. But where do you begin to describe that one? The initial effort was denied by Oldfield. But the bounce upon the save was so cruel, and it crushes the Knights' hearts here in Port Melbourne. As the board is about to go up to indicate stoppage time. Five minutes it appears to be in stoppages, as the home side are looking to continue to rain goals. Courtney Perkins wants to go solo. Oldfield palming away. Ball flung in, Burns to the back post. Oldfield palming away. Stokes on the edge of the area. Confirmation is now official. 5 minutes of added time. Oh, they kept it very late, the Sharks. But they got exactly what they were after. The Knights, prior to that, were making some claims to get themselves back in the contest. They had some efforts on the edge of the box, which just weren't really tangible. And since then, the Sharks, they smelled blood. And they got what exactly they were after. They're looking to continue upon that vein as Burns, and a fruitful substitution. Looks towards the official. It's gone the other way. As late substitution from the Knights will be forthcoming. With Thomas Werndl being replaced. Thomas Karlovic to get some match minutes. As Bramwell could be in. Calvary arrives but rather late. Sark in the edge of the area, confronted by some Sharks players. Franjic had to let fly and hope for a miracle, if there was to be one here at JL Murphy Reserve. Semi the target, ball bobbling everywhere. Duzel. Ball flung in. Bramwell the target. Swell. Might have a throw to take quickly. All the Port players behind the ball. Though the contest should be wrapped up from here. Just making sure of nothing from the football gods to be forthcoming as the Knights search for a late consolation. Saki has been bright upon his short tenure in the game. Gets it moving. Franjic crosses. Hancock does well. Saki had it back. Franjic. Edwards there with some pressure. Duzel. Franjic. Lighted with Burns. Free kick for Knights. Very deep in this contest. Two players on different ends of their careers. And the veteran of Ivan Franjic and the youngster of Lucas Burns. Does it feel like it could be the last few knockings of the contest? The Knights have made a few cases in terms of finding a goal in this contest. They might have a chance to here now. Franch's cross was dealt with. Sewell trying to pluck it out of thin air. Edwards jostles onto the ball, which is going to be dealt with. Oldfield. As all the time, as you can see, the fourth official look towards his watch. Ross Clark hasn't done so yet. And a win here for the Sharks keeps them firmly inside the top 6 and on the tail of Hume City, who are ahead of them in 5th place. If I'm not mistaken, I think next week, back at home with the Sharks, and they take on Hume. I need some confirmation surrounding that as Swall had found Semi. All for it to be the goalkeeper's ball. Marco Giannakis might have the final kick. So we quickly glance towards next week. Want to grab some confirmation around the June 1st fixture, where Port were actually away from home. They take on Moreland City at CB Smith Reserve. It was the week prior on the 8th of June, but they're back at home taking on Hume City. What a clash that's going to shape out to be. It's deep in this one. Saki wants to go around Edwards. Feel like it might be the last play. Can they find a consolation? Bramwell. Hancock got in the way. Courtney Perkins. Hancock was sliding. And off to the races nearly was Peters. Very deep in the contest. But it will be a free kick for the Knights, who have remained valiant throughout the entirety of it. They're still on the hunt for a late consolation. Could make the case that they were hard done by this afternoon, given they weren't out the contest. Taken some rather misfortunate goals to penetrate Oldfields as Marco Giannakis with a double parry and the final involvement. It's all gone according to the script of Nick Marinos' side. They get the 3 points at home, despite a stalemate at half-time. Egan Stokes via the deflection got things moving at the late stages of it. Both benches shake hands, as do the players. Lucas Burns, upon his substitution, came on and came to life and ensured the 3 points. We're going to remain with the Sharks. Full time here at JL Murphy Reserve. Port Melbourne Sharks 2, Melbourne Knights 0. That's going to wrap up our coverage of the contest here. We appreciate your time, and we'll catch you for another NPL fixture soon. I've been Adam Palombi. We appreciate your time. Thank you, and good night.